Joy to be with you on this Wednesday here in the middle of the week. I trust things are going well for you. We are getting ready for Dino World, our vacation Bible school that starts just in a few days on Monday. We're thankful for the hundreds that have signed up, and we're praying that even more will. And if you're not part of it here, I would appreciate your prayer that God will enable us to really have an impact in our community. Today I'd like to look at John chapter 11. Here we have the story of Lazarus and how the Lord had received the word that he was deathly ill, and God had a plan in it all, and he held back from going, and Lazarus died. And the reason that he waited, he wanted to show forth the glory of God by bringing Lazarus back from the dead. But when he went to the home of Mary and Martha and to the grave, he of course saw the deep sorrow of Martha and the deep sorrow of Mary. As they said, if you'd been here, he would not have died. And of course, that would have been true. And so they faced an impossibility. That is called death. And there are many impossibilities that we face in the spiritual realm. We as believers face impossibilities all the time. And the Lord knows the situation that we're in. And what a comfort. We read in verse 33, when Jesus therefore saw her weeping, this is Mary, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned. This was a deep, deep emotion that he had in the spirit and was troubled. I mean, he was deeply troubled. And he said, where have you laid him? And they said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. I can never read that passage without being amazed. The creator of the universe, the one who has all things under his control, had compassion for Mary and Martha. And the deep problem that we face when things are impossible. Now, friends, that ought to comfort us, because we all face, of course, people that we know dying, and that is such a very difficult time. But there are other impossibilities in our lives. We see the situation around us in our country. We look at the direction things are going, and many times we feel like this is an impossibility. How can this happen? But two things I want us to remember from this passage. Number one, as we're groaning in our own hearts about what we're facing, and there may be fear, and we may be exercised about it, Jesus is touched with the feelings of our infirmities, Hebrews chapter 4 says. And here we know that he had compassion. And so we're not alone. When the God of the universe cares, when he loves us, when he is moved emotionally on our behalf, we can be greatly encouraged that he's going to work things for good if we are trusting him. And then secondly, nothing's impossible to God. Lazarus was resurrected. Great, great miracle. And as we face difficulties that we don't know how to navigate, as we look at a situation around us that seems beyond hope, we don't know how things are going to turn out. But the one thing I can tell you is God can do the impossible. He cares, and he will work things together for good. We can trust him. It's an absolute reality. And so for us as believers, one of the great encouragements that we can have is to know that we have a Savior who has been here. He's walked these roads. He knows what this earth is like. He's had the weakness of humanity, and he understands. He, of course, understood everything as God, but there is a unique understanding that he had because he was willing to become one of us. And he does care. And when we are fearful and don't know what to do, he cares, and we need to look to him. And we need to remember that he can do anything. He is God. Oh, may God give us a kind of a heart to believe him and to trust in his love and to trust in his power and to know that he is in control and he will work things together to accomplish his purpose. So, friend, don't feel alone or in the darkness when you feel surrounded by problems, when you hear too many negative things. Remember, he cares, and he can do anything.